Welcome into the PB&J Trench Talk podcast. I am your host, Draft Guy Jared. He is your other host, Parker Blake. We are back, finally, after a long hiatus of 2 weeks because Parker has a very up and down coaching schedule. But we're back. We're here. We've got some things we want to talk about, some things to discuss, some ball to talk, some knowledge to drop. We got a film room, we got a mailbag, we have an episode for the people, Parker.
We're here for everybody, man. I feel bad. We're in playoff football. The season's almost done, as far as my coaching career goes.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. We got a lot loaded up today, man. Let's get it going. I'm excited for the people, for the populace.
For the people. So it kind of works out that you've been busy because so have I. I had to work my one Saturday out of every 8 weeks, so I didn't get to watch as much football. The Bengals were on a bye Sunday, so I had no motivation to actually watch football on Sunday either. So I just played video games and didn't do a whole lot. So this episode is mainly going to be like a touching on some of the fine points of last week, but really a preview of what's to come.
See, but what video game did you play?
I played a lot of Apex Legends this weekend because I haven't played in a really long time, and I need like a first-person shooter. And being a dad and all of that fun stuff, I don't have I can't like sit down and play games for hours like I used to. So, what the games that are on my PlayStation, I have Apex Legends. I got Fall Guys because the baby loves watching Fall Guys, and my wife loves playing it. It's a fun game. Like it's just a fun one to sit down and play for like 10, 15 minutes while you got time to kill. We have Fortnite. Only because they're downloading the new map soon, or the first map soon, and I remember
you're back. You're back in the Fortnite game.
Yeah, I'm back. That one, I hadn't been on there for a while. And then I played some Hogwarts Legacy. I had stopped playing it after it first came out, like halfway through the game, so I just kind of started a new character. But now I'm picking back up into the my main character. That one. So. So I'm exploring. It's wintertime in Hogwarts, so it's kind of magical. I killed almost all of Sunday with that, man. I was just whipping my wand around.
So not a Spider-Man guy. Not a Spider-Man guy.
Not yet. Not yet. We did not have the financials. My wife is in between. She got a brand new job. So we're in between paychecks. So maybe next week. Congrats.
No, I've never been into the Spider-Man games. I remember like back when I was like, I don't know how old I was. My parents took me to this like haircut place, and they would sit you in like this like little rocket ship looking thing, and they just stick a PlayStation controller in your hand. You played some video game, and there was a Spider-Man game I played there, and I've been chasing it the rest of my life. But I loved that game.
Dang. I did play the first one and Miles Morales. Like, I love both of those games. I'm going to play Spider-Man. I am viciously avoiding any kind of spoilers on the internet right now. So, also, if you haven't seen me tweet as much, it's because I'm just avoiding Spider-Man spoilers at
college football, and that's it.
That's it. That is, I'm just there for the chaos. Speaking of which, that's a great transition, Parker. Let's move to college football.
Let's do it.
Because there wasn't a whole lot that happened on Saturday. UNC lost to Virginia. I think that was the biggest story out of Saturday. Everything else was pretty chalk, but all anybody can talk about right now is the Michigan sign stealing scandal, which is, to me, just hilarious because it's, number one, it's the most college football story ever. Like, they're being investigated by the NCAA for sign stealing, which per NCAA rules isn't illegal.
Correct.
What is illegal is the in-person scouting, and the dude's name is Connor Stallions. That's not a made-up name. Like, that's the name they're running with this story.
He's taking all the heat. It's his fault at this point. Like,
yeah. So, the thing that kills me is I think the people that are genuinely the most upset about this are Ohio State fans. Because, like, Michigan we've talked about it many times on this show. Like, they are a powerhouse right now. They are probably the best looking team in college football. I wouldn't be surprised. I think next week is the first college football playoff rankings. I wouldn't be surprised if they're number one when that poll comes out. So, like, and Jim Harbaugh got suspended the first 3 or 4 games of this season already for putting cheeseburgers on the recruiting card or something stupid. Like, it's so stupid. It would be great that this, like, all of these stupid things ended in a national championship. So the only thing this whole thing has made me do is root for Michigan harder this year.
Like, tell me this isn't the most 30 for 30 season that a college football team could have, literally of all time. Like,
yeah, like JJ McCarthy was like the free Harbaugh shirt, like the first game of the season. Like, what is even going on there?
Yeah, but between the sign stealing scandal and we haven't been able to talk about the spiral of USC because we didn't do a recap after they lost the first game, and then we didn't preview last week's game. So that's really that's all that's happened in college football over the last 2 weeks. Like, that's been it.
USC's lost 2 games, and Michigan is just I feel like they're trolling everybody.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. But shout out Notre Dame for being my favorite spoiler ever, because they feel like they can't make it anymore, and so they're just gonna beat everybody else and make sure they can.
Yeah, Notre Dame is the litmus test. Like, they're the gatekeeper. Like, you can't get anywhere near the college football playoff unless you get past Notre Dame. If you can't,
they're not going to be there, but they're going to make sure you're not there either.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to take you down with them. They fight dirty. Those fighting Irish fight dirty. Is that what it is? I don't think that I'm pissing off every leprechaun there ever was right now.
You leave my people out of this.
What else we got? The Penn State Ohio State game was super anticlimactic. Ohio State's defense is good. We told you that their defense is good. So that happened.
Been on that.
I'll just go ahead and say it. We haven't had a show since Louisville lost. It may have been affected I may have just been so depressed I didn't want to do the show for 2 weeks. That may have been the actual reason I didn't want to face the music. Especially because, like, the last show we did, I was like, Louisville ACC champs. I was like, now they're totally gonna lose the pit, and guess what they did? They totally lost the pit. So
they did it.
I am Louisville Stradamus. So if you have any Louisville questions, come and find me. I got you, fam.
It's okay. You know, like I said, it happens every season. Kentucky looks really good, and then they lose their first game of the season, and then they lose to Mizzou. So, I mean, that's where we're at. So that's great. Looking forward to this garbage fest of the, blue and red game coming up here at the end of the season. Looking forward to our bet still stands, even though you're out on the cards now. But we're still there. Don't you worry.
Hey, we can still beat them cats, man. We still got enough fight in. I think they're. Oh gosh, have you? You probably haven't seen it, but Louisville's got all black helmets this weekend. They're playing Duke. We'll get into it, but they have all black helmets, and they got the old school card football logo with like the.
Oh, I love the old. I do love the old.
Dude, it's logo. So good. It's my favorite logo in sports. I don't care what anybody says. I know it's a homer pick, but it's my favorite logo in all of sports. I don't care if the bird has teeth. The bird has teeth. God damn it.
The only bird with teeth lives in Kentucky.
All right. So let's we got a few NFL notes. The Lions stink. They're a poopy team. We've always said it. Lions stink. Lions.
I want them to win so bad, but they're so bad at winning.
It's the NFL. Like, it was so funny to watch people go, "Oh, the Lions are frauds" this past week. It's like, this is gonna happen every now and again. And they beat the Chiefs. Like, we keep forgetting. Like, they have played good teams. They have won hard games. Like, the Lions are a good football team.
Correct.
Maybe they just stink against the AFC. So that's also a possibility.
But if you're gonna lose games, you might as well lose the non-conference games, though. So.
That is true. That is true.
And they beat the AFC champion Chiefs. So
I guess they did lose to the Seahawks too. I don't know what we're talking about. We're making stuff
my
up.
Seahawks.
Your Seahawks. AFC North, speaking of which, the Lions did lose to the Ravens. That's what we're talking about. 38-6 or something crazy like that.
Wasn't fun for them.
AFC North, without the Bengals playing, won all of their games. I didn't.
I gotta phrase it like that, Jared. Why you got? Without the Bengals playing, they won every game.
Yeah, I mean that's just a statement of fact. I mean,
untrue.
I could have worded it different, but I was just shooting from the hip, man. I just coming reckless with it.
Since those Bengals were involved, they were able to go for the clean sweep. That's what
I have 0 Browns Colts takes because I did not pay attention to that game at all. I told you I was playing Hogwarts.
Well, the only takes to come out of that game were purely referee related. So
yeah, everybody's
the Browns are better without Deshaun Watson at this point. That's about the only 2 takes I have from that disaster.
Did you see Devin Witherspoon's quote today?
Oh, the deep fake quote?
No, it wasn't a deep fake.
Was that real?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Even better. Rookie of the year. Give him the award today.
Hold on. I got to pull it up. I got to pull it up for the people because I definitely retweeted it.
As this episode is for the people.
It is for the people. It's for the 5 people that are actually going to watch this. I'm
trying to remember because there was that other. Who was it? There was a bunch of AI generated like videos coming out that
the ones that kill me. There have been Jim Harbaugh ones for Michigan.
Yeah, the Jim Harbaugh,
absolutely hilarious. All right, so Devin Witherspoon, quarterback for the Seahawks, said this because they played the Browns this weekend. I think
this week. I think
yeah. So Deshaun Watson's already been ruled out, I think. So Devin Witherspoon was talking to reporters today, and he said, I guess the doctors over there in Cleveland told him he can't play, and he's finally taken no for an answer. Oh, it was so cold. It was so good.
Oh, good for him. Good for Devin. You love to see.
All right. So I forget what we were talking about. It was just such a good quote. Oh yeah, we were talking about the Browns beating the refs or something.
No, the refs beat the Colts is the problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
I told you I didn't watch it.
On to the next. I don't want to get into any of that shit. Same thing with the Steelers game. That was a mess.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that one either.
No.
We're at such a crossroads right now, Parker, for this podcast because the Niners have lost the last 2 weeks since we have.
I know we have to start doing podcasts to get the NFL back to normal. It's our fault. It's our fault.
I think if we don't podcast, then the problem is we've put ourselves in such a hole this week. Because if there's a curse for like our podcast and the Niners, like if we just don't record a show, they lose. We shouldn't have recorded a show. Like it's already too late. We should
turn this off right now
because they play our Bengals. But so yeah, never mind. The Niners, they're a good football team. The Niners are a good football team. We're only going to say good things about the Niners because every time we do say good things about the Niners, they win because we only say good
may or may not play this week.
I think he's playing, dog.
Is Trent Williams playing or not? I want to see Trent and Trey.
He's resting. He's definitely playing. He's going to be a game time decision, but he's going to play.
Okay. That's the only injury note that matters to me. Out of this
it really is. It's gonna be a fun matchup for Trent's play. Trent Williams versus Trey Henderson. We tied both of those guys up on the show. It's gonna be a really fun matchup. The Bengals are gonna have their hands full with the Niners defensive line too. So
that's not
coming off a bye. Everybody's healthy. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good game. I'm not freaking out at all.
Orlando is still resting, but that does not mean anything. He's going to be just fine.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's a petition out there. We will make one if we need to, but the Eagles Kelly Greens need to be permanent. That's just need to be their uniform.
That is the home jersey.
It is so dumb that they have the other uniforms at this point. Like, just get rid of those. Wear the Kelly greens. We all want it. Everybody wants it. Nobody wants you to keep the dark green jerseys at this point. So
there's so much.
do what's right.
Just throw it all back. They had the throwback logos on the broadcast.
Yeah. Oh, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, it was awesome.
Even, you know what? Even Pat Patriot. What are we doing? Put Pat Patriot. That needs to be the all-time jersey. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You can even have the dark blues as like an alternate. Like, I don't care. I don't care. But the helmet, the all-white helmet with the Pat Patriot, always needs to be their helmet.
And the red jerseys, the blue pants,
creamsicles. Like,
I'm like one of the 4 people on this planet that can't stand the creamsicle, so I can't.
I love the creamsicles.
I hate. It's hard for me to watch games with those uniforms out there, man.
I think this weekend we get the old Oilers jerseys too.
We do?
Yeah, I think Houston or Tennessee's rocking them.
Not Houston.
Yeah, not Houston. Not allowed to, I don't know if I can legally say that.
The Oilers are in Tennessee. Anyway, I love seeing the discourse over that where it's like, anyway, yeah, I'm not even gonna. That's a fun couple of fan bases right there. Right. Anyway.
All right. So, yeah, we're completely caught up. That's all you missed. That's all the trench stuff that you missed.
We got like the best trench game of the year that we didn't even cover with the Browns, Myles Garrett playing Trent Williams.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. I would watch that game 7 times before next season. I promise you that.
Heavyweight bite, that one. That's 2 Hall of Famers. You don't get that very often.
And it was much better than watching Myles Garrett versus Blake Freeman.
Yeah. Always.
That was not a blast. Not a blast.
Gardner Minshew had that cool. He was like, after the touchdown. That was pretty funny.
He was feeling himself.
All right. We do have a film room ready to go. So for the audio people who just did not see me flail my hands. So we got a really fun topic for this this week's film room. It's draft related. As you can see, we got Washington, we got the Huskies. We didn't cover it because we never did a show after it, but the Huskies did beat Oregon. Great call, Parker. You're on that one. I am gonna say it's Dan Lanning's fault because he doesn't know when to kick field goals and when not to kick field goals. So
how do they miss that? How do they miss that field goal though?
And then they could have done it before half. It's just, and they lose by 3 points. It really killed my soul a little bit. I still
that was a fun game to watch and a terrible game to have money on. I will say that.
It's very accurate, which I definitely did.
Dude, I lost my spread by the hook.
No.
I had the Huskies minus 3.5.
Oh no! That's how they get you, dog. Anyway. That's how they get you. So, one thing during that game that really stood out, or what are we doing here? I'm trying to explain what we're talking. About.
I'm excited to find out.
We've been. It's like anytime I think of something, I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't talked to Parker about this. It's like, God damn it. Like,
we got the band back together. There's a lot going on.
My brain's all over the place. Okay, we're doing a film room. At this point in time, we're 5/8 of the way through the college football season.
That's math.
That's probably pretty accurate too, if we're talking. So anyway, draft dorks have probably bombarded you with like a bunch of early first round mocks. You're starting to get deviation in the first half of the first round. Like you're starting to see teams and stuff separate themselves. So like the bad teams are starting to pick up steam. So a lot more people are trying to get eyes on the players that are going to be available there. So you've been hearing a lot of like the top 5 O linemen, like Olu Fashanu and JC Latham and Joe Alt and Amarius Mims and Talis Fuaga, like all of these guys, you're starting to hear these names a lot because they're starting to become more and more relevant to the teams that aren't doing well. So what I wanted to do is take the next step, the next logical step in that thing, because another thing that's been very prevalent that you're hearing with draft media is that this offensive tackle class is great. Like, it's one of the best offensive tackle classes that we've seen in a really long
Generational,
time.
to use the buzzword.
I hate that word.
It's awesome.
It's been used too much. So I, being the draft guy, wanted to really dive into this, and I definitely got into it a little bit over the summer. But I've watched 12 offensive tackle prospects, guys that have played offensive tackle. So I wanted to give my thoughts on the next 5. So this is the not top 5 offensive tackle list that I'm going to give you. It's 5 guys that I really like outside of those big names that you've been hearing. A couple of things I do want to update with the top 5. My top 5. So my top 5 are Olu Fashanu, JC Latham, Joe Alt, Amarius Mims, and Kingsley Suamataia. Mims, he's kind of dropping for me. He has an ankle issue, hasn't played much for Georgia, so he's falling. He was a top 3 tackle for me over the summer. I really liked what I saw from Amarius Mims. Yeah, last season. I don't have any Oregon State film, so I haven't watched any Talis Fuaga in full. I have seen a lot of clips. I've seen some cut-ups. I've seen some breakdowns of his game, and I am very, very excited to watch him. I'm eager to watch him because I think, just based on what I've seen, he is solidly in this top 5 of this class, which means he's probably a first-round player at this point. And then we have my number 5 is Kingsley Suamataia. We did a whole film room on him, so I figured to move past that, like, we've already seen Kingsley 100% broken down. Are you frozen, Parker? Or are you just sitting like that? Oh, wow, that was incredible. I thought you froze, man. You just
I'm locked in, man. You're giving out good information here. It's funny because, like, all I was thinking about was, like, man, I've already watched like 4 or 5 games of Fuaga just from the broadcast angle because I love watching him. And Jared hasn't watched him yet, so I'm just gonna sit here in silence because I love that guy.
All right, yeah. Like, you know me. I've said a couple of times, for me to fully evaluate people, I need the end zone angle. So,
yes, sir.
There's going to be a couple of guys that you'll hear in my not top 5 that a lot of people have in their top 5. So I think one of the big things I want to do is explain what these guys are, because there's a reason they're not in the top 5, obviously. No. There's some deficiency to their game, or perceived deficiency. We'll just call it that. There's going to be pros and cons to their game that I want everybody to be conscious of as they hear these names as we go throughout the draft process. That are very important evaluation tools. So let's start. Parker knows I am a huge Troy Fountainu fan. He's the left tackle. He's here. He's number 55 here. Right here. Sorry, I had to pull it back up. I forgot to pull.
I was like, it's right here, Jared. It's right here.
Yeah. So this is Troy Fountainu. A couple of things about Fountainu. He has a ton of experience. I think he has 3 years starting for Washington at left tackle. He's a bit undersized. He's listed at 6'3", 300 pounds. So not a big guy. But Dave Brugler, they had on their prospects to pros, they had a whole O-line show, and they said that Fountainu has 34-inch arms. And it took my brain so long to see that. It's the reason it's one of those things where he has learned his strength very quickly, and he has applied it to his game almost seamlessly. So my favorite things about Fountain's game are his hands. Like, he is so good at hand fighting. His frame allows him to anchor well. He gets good leverage. He has incredible hand placement. And he's very quick. He's got great feet. You can see his athleticism. All of these things are awesome. The only knock on him from a tackle perspective, a lot of people think he's going to transition to guard at the next level. That's fine. I think he could play anywhere you need him to with his skill set. But I think this is one of those things where I would try him out at tackle in the NFL before I told him he had to move anywhere on the line. So this is one of my favorite things. This is like one of his normal pass sets. Like you see this 20, 25, 30 times a game from Washington's offense. It's just clean, man. He gives you the hand flash here to get the edge defender to throw his move, and then bam, hand placement. He's got armpit with his outside, he's upper shoulder with his inside, and he is not going to let this guy go anywhere he wants to. Guys, chops his hands down.
Length, right? That's where you see the length and the extension. Because I mean, he's standing vertical essentially, and just bam, right in the armpit. Like and I feel like that's where you really hit it on the head, because this is this year's Skoronski is what this is.
And look, he even gets those hands chopped.
Yep.
Bam, right back where they were. Just incredible replacement. Like, this happens so much on his film. He is also the king of the snatch trap. I think he has 3 or 4 of those a game. If you go through my thread on my Twitter page, I love documenting all of his snatch traps. This is from Boise State this year. He had like 4 or 5 in this game. All of them were incredible. One of them was the smoothest I've ever seen. He just kind of like pillows the dude to the ground.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like he just like puts people on the ground. Speaking of, can we watch this right tackle real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a redshirt sophomore. He may or may not declare this year. I don't remember his name.
He's coming out.
Yeah. He's also been very impressive. Oh, all right. So as you can see, anyway. Our next player on the not top 10, Graham Barton, very kind of similar to Fountain, undersized, but I'm pretty sure he can play any position you want to. But you're kind of, the difference is with Barton, you're kind of hoping tackle is a last resort. Like you kind of hope he can transition a little easier to the interior. He's stout. He is strong, sneaky athletic. But one of the big kind of things for me, he doesn't always look coordinated. If that's, I've told you, me and you were talking about this one time. I was like, I think his feet are just too big.
It looks like he's playing with size 25s out there. Is what is just the fact of the matter.
Yeah. He has heavy feet and pass protection. And he has pretty inconsistent hand placement, but he does a good job replacing and stuff like that. Very experienced. I think he's played 4 years at Duke. Yeah. He started at center and moved to left tackle. And one of the things I love about Barton, he is a finisher. He is very mean in the run game. I think his run film is so much more impressive than his pass pro right now. He just plays with a nasty edge here, number 62. Just look at him. just taking that dude out to lunch.
Right off the train.
Right. Just he gets it. He's a bit of a leaner and he can get off balance. This year, I've watched this Clemson game was night and day from last year with his balance. I think he's still kind of got like this squatty, leany kind of stance. Joe Alt kind of has a very similar kind of way he like sets and stuff with his pass pro, and it, like my eyes just don't like it. I think is the best way to describe it. Like it's nothing against them, it works. They are very effective with their pass pro and all of that. I'm not trying to knock any of it. It's just not the prettiest stuff you've ever seen.
Well, that's like the hard part for me, especially with Joe Alt, and that's why I think these guys are actually very similar. I think Joe Alt uses his frame a lot better and he's a lot more balanced. But I think overall they have a very similar style of play, which is obviously why we're talking about Barton right now and not Alt, because that one difference. But I love, and that's where some of these guys that we have, or that you have in this not top 5, I like so much more than I think I even like some of these top end guys because they have a motor. I think my biggest issue with Alt and Fashanu is they're not big finishers, and some of these guys that like we're talking about right now, they hate the dude across from them, and it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and another thing about Barton, especially in the run game, his footwork, especially getting out of his stance, is clinical. He is able to get the jump on so many guys because his footwork is so precise. I came away pretty impressed. Like he's sneaky athletic, but his feet are too big. That's all. But like he gets under this dude and just drives him. He puts reps like that all over his film. It's really fun. All right.
Well, I haven't watched this guy yet.
Trying to like not the clips like real cut really close to the snap. I don't know if I did that on purpose or not. So the next guy we're gonna watch, we're finally moving to the right side. We watched 2 left tackles. Let's watch a right tackle. This is a Johnny Cornelius, a transfer from Rhode Island, plays for Oregon now. He was the top rated offensive line recruit in the transfer portal this past year, and he went to the Ducks. He very technical player, and also very strong. I think he is probably more of a guard at the next level. I have questions about athleticism, which you'll see in this clip. I don't think he's the most athletic, but I think he's got a better first step than his long athleticism. Now that I'm kind of thinking about, because I haven't watched Cornelius in a hot minute, but he's got more of a quick burst off the line whenever he's in the run game or whatnot. But one thing that really stands out on his film is his grip strength and his finishing ability. This is going to be he's going to pull to the outside here. So he's actually going to pull to the right in this clip. And he's going to finish his block. Out of bounds. But you see what I'm saying? Like he's kind of like he's got a great first step there, and then like once he's up and moving, he's kind of a slow strider.
It's like top speeds, right at the gate. You're not getting faster. You're just kind of
getting. But other than that, I love a whole lot about Cornelius, especially in pass pro. He is very good. He's got very quick feet. Like he'll shuffle, he'll kick. His angle sets are very impressive. He doesn't do a lot of like it's Oregon, so they don't do any vertical sets. He jump sets really well. He's got some pretty good length to him too. So I came away really impressed when I watched Cornelius's film.
How big is he? He looks massive.
He's 6'5", 320, something like that. He's a bigger boy.
That'd be a nice guard though. That's like with the teams like the Eagles, like at like those interior spots where you can have like
very
more athletic center and then like these bigger.
Very much like Tyler Steen, I feel like.
The steamroller.
All right, so now we got Patrick Paul.
This blackout game's so dope.
It is. I like when they have the black UH on their helmet. So Paul. I think he's more athletic than people are going to give him credit for, because people are going to forget that he's 6'7", 330 pounds. He's also got like 35-inch arms, which is bananas. My biggest pet peeve with Paul are his hand placement, and he's a leaner. He's a waist bender. Mm-hmm. I haven't updated. He's another reason he's on my not top 5 right now. Don't have any Houston film yet. I haven't updated him. He's one of the few people I haven't been able to get new film on. So, part of me is just not updating this. But from what I saw last year, bit of a leaner, hand placement is inconsistent, and he will not reset his hands. He's got really good grip, and he's pretty fun in the run game. He doesn't have like a thick lower half, but he has a lot of power in his lower half. See, he's kind of got like stick legs.
He's built like Villanueva.
Yeah, he looks like a young Whitworth or something, Not that I'm saying he's that caliber player. I mean, he may get drafted in the same kind of. I don't know.
But no, I've tried to watch some of these Houston games. I I'm not watching the whole because anyway. But I would just like to see him flash more with the level of talent that he's playing. You know, you hear a lot of these guys say I mean, Houston's not a small school by any means, but with these smaller school guys that aren't like, the Ohio States, the Michigans, you want to see them kind of dominate in some of these games. And I just haven't really seen that from him yet. And
it's a huge area. Like there
yeah,
should be like better recruits and stuff in Houston. Like
yeah.
they should be a better football team.
But I haven't seen crazy flashes out of him, but he's a guy where like his ceiling feels like it's the sky, right? Like it feels like he could just be he could turn into the best prospect in this class, or he could fall off the face of the earth. Like I have no idea what this guy's going to do at the next level at this point. Right. I'm excited to see him at the combine. I hope he ends up getting invited. He should get a combine invite. I want to see him run and move in these drills, just because the athleticism thing I feel like he's gonna fly off the boards in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of people have him in their top 5 right now. And I feel like that just exactly what you're saying. They're seeing a ceiling for him. I, for one, don't see a ceiling for him because I see a pretty low floor right now without much development.
For sure.
You know, like that's what I need to see. I need to see him improve on some things. So he needs, like I said, he needs to clean up his hand placement. He needs to clean up like his hand fighting in general. He needs to clean up his posture. He just has a lot of technical things.
Very technically, raw. And that, you know me, I'm president of the High Floor Fan Club. So he is not very high on my list right now. And he's a guy where it's like if he falls like into the 3rd, 4th round, then he's probably looking at like, why would I not take the swing at this guy? But I don't like him as an early 2nd round or even definitely not a 1st round prospect right now. Just because he is so raw, and he's not raw in the way that like Penei Sewell was. He's raw in like a very like your technique hurts me to watch, but I can see that if you can figure it out, then you're gonna be awesome.
Yeah, he has a mid to late 3rd round grade from me right now. Like I wouldn't spend anything more than that. But if I see more development over this year, he has all of the tools to move into that early day 2, day 1 conversation. Like I understand it. And it's all because as big as he is, as spindly as he is, if he gets his hands on you, man,
he's so strong.
He is so strong. So strong. Strongest man ever.
He just doesn't know how to use his lower half at all. Like
at all. It's just lock legs and just grab it.
But if he grabs you, it's like Frankenstein, man. You can run away from him pretty easy, but if he gets his hands on you, man, it's over. It's over.
And he has I've probably watched 5 games of him from last year. He has fun run flashes, in the run game. Like when he gets moving, when he gets all of that stuff going in one direction and gets his hands on somebody, it's dynamite, man. And I know that's what people are trying to like grade put his draft grade as, and it's like no. So put your brakes. The rest of it needs a whole lot of work.
Definitely a guy that's like got like early 2nd round highlight film, but a mid 3rd round grade. Like that's
Yep. Be careful of the highlight tapes on Patrick Paul. So the last guy we got here is Jordan Morgan, who, if we were going solely on film grade, would be an early day 2 grade for me. Like borderline day 1, because he has a lot of technical issues. And I have told you about this, but the reason he has technical issues, in my opinion, this is not anything I'm hearing or like anything like that. This is all based on my brain. But he has the last 3 seasons, he has had season-ending injuries at the end of the season. So he's missed 3 or 4 games of the last season. He's had to rehab during the off season and come back and play. 2 of them were ACLs, and I think the other one was an ankle or something. He broke his ankle or something like that. So they're all leg injuries. And in college, the biggest jumps in your development happen in the offseason when you can train your technique, when you can build muscle memory to develop your game. Morgan hasn't been given the opportunity to do that because of his injuries. So my biggest issue with Morgan is his technical deficiencies are linked to his injury history because he hasn't been able to put in as much time. He is, don't get me wrong, he is athletically gifted. He is probably, in my opinion, the second most athletic tackle in this class. Like, if he's healthy at the end of the season and he tests at the combine and everything, he will be one of the biggest freak athletes on the offensive line. But I don't know if he's going to play tackle because his technique is not great, especially in pass pro. But his run blocking is very close to elite level for college play.
He's a model.
Yeah, he's just able. He's so nasty. He's so strong. He is able to hit every single one of his landmarks in the run game, no matter what you ask him to do. I think this is a screen or it's a swing pass. This is like high level NFL play, like this play right here. Like, he's 30 yards downfield blocking two guys at the same time.
What's the thing that's like, I think the craziest to me about him, where he has the lengthy injury history, but somehow has found a way to still be a high level athlete. Like, usually you'll see these guys take like even after like a knee injury or an ankle injury,
Yeah,
they are dramatically less athletic, whether that's a confidence thing or just them just not having it. But he's gone through all these different rehab processes and still moves like this. And that's what just blows my mind and why I want him to be higher on my board. But I can't do it, man. I can't.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. And like I said, and it's not just like it's not that you're just seeing this, it's the whole other side of it. Like, his pass protection needs so much work. He's late punching, wide hands, like clumsy feet. All of that needs work too. But then you see this. Like,
well, the thing, like, he's great in space, he's great in the run game. That's where it's like, if you project him as a guard, like, yeah, stock way up. But if you're gonna play him on the outside, then I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, and I think with his history, you're projecting him, like, you're projecting a lot to put him in the first round.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility? I feel like maybe without his injury history, he's like a Matthew Bergeron anyway.
Oh yeah.
So like, these people that keep putting him in their top 5, I get it. I understand. I know what you're grading off of, but with him, it's such a different story. Like, it's one of those things, like, he may drop to day 3, like round 4, like, we're not talking like crazy 5th, 6th round stuff, but he may drop to like the day 3 because nobody wants to spend the money on a injury history like that. We've seen it before with guys like Trey Smith and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of these guys where everybody loves him, but he falls so far in the draft because of his medical history.
Well, that's why I feel like people don't appreciate like how the NFL process works. Not like I'm tied in and know myself, but like you have to like see the trend and see that these guys, the NFL is a high floor, low risk league. Like, they don't want to. I know it's really exciting to be like, oh, like, this guy's got awesome ceiling. Like, I'm gonna go for this guy. But when it comes to draft day and what actually happens, like, if you have an injury history, you're raw technically with not a lot of crazy upside from the jump, like, you're gonna slide pretty far, especially like when you have a like lengthy or significant injury history. Like, you're gonna just plummet down the board, and that's not anything based on your film. It's purely because they're like, I don't know, like, are you going to be good for 2 games in your career, or are you magically somehow going to be healthy in the NFL? Like, well, I don't know what to expect out of you.
And it's so much easier to prospects. Yeah, and it's so much easier as an NFL team to be like, we're not going to spend a top 3 round pick because we expect those guys to contribute pretty immediately. I would much rather take a 4th, 5th round flyer on a guy with a medical history for something like that. So it wouldn't even surprise me. Like I said, he has the talent, he has the ceiling. I see the first round traits all day with Jordan Morgan. But it's like you're saying, it's just it's a wild card. You're taking such a risk on at a premium position. Like it's not something you want to bet your NFL franchise on.
I mean, you like you said, you want a day 1 or 2 pick to at least compete for a job in camp. Like you want that guy to push the man in front of him, or be like, oh, this guy's going to be a great long-term guy. He's going to be early off the bench. Like this kid's going to be. That's where I just don't think you have that in a guy like this. But I mean, I could be wrong. Like we both said. Like I love what you see on film as a guard. I don't love his protection, and I like maybe he's developed that. Maybe he's. But I love him as a guard. I love him as a mauler. I love him out in space. But yeah, between the injuries and just the rawness, technically, I don't see it. He's a day 3 guy. I think he's a great value pick in the 4th, 5th round. Like if he slides that far somehow, then you pull the trigger the second you get to him. But like you're waiting until day 3 is what you're doing.
Exactly. So yeah, that wasn't like I didn't have those in any order or anything like that. Those are just 5 guys that you're gonna hear all throughout the process, in and out of other people's top 5s. And I thought it was a good idea to give some context, our own context, and backing it up with film, like what I think of these guys, what you think based on the clips or what you've watched.
Guys that I haven't watched a ton of yet, so I'm excited. And that's what we were just talking about pre-show, where it's like I feel like we're to the point now where we both watched like obviously a fair amount of film at this point. Now it's like, okay, let's sync this up a little bit and make sure we can talk about some of these guys.
Yeah, Parker saw the mess that is my watch list before the show. All 250 players strong right now, and currently in the midst of adding to it. So,
hey, it's shadow draft season already, baby. We got to prepare. This is a big draft.
Gotta stay up with the times.
We're gonna get up to 44 players after this draft. I mean, it's a big one.
It is. It's a pretty big deal. All right, so let's move into some previews, Parker. You want to do NFL or college first?
Let's do NFL first, because I honestly, I've only glanced through, but from a trench perspective, I didn't see a ton of awesome action this weekend.
You are correct. I also did not see a whole lot of matchups.
Let's just get that one.
I just put some games on there that seemed like they'd at least be fun games, because, like you said, not a whole lot of big trench matchups. First of all, Battle for New York. The Giants and the Jets played this weekend. I don't suggest anybody who actually cares about football watch that game.
Unless you hate whoever's playing quarterback for the Giants.
Yeah. That, and I mean, the Jets are going to win. We all know the Jets are going to win, right? Like, we're all pretty sure the Jets are going to win.
I mean, any given Sunday, but they should win.
I mean, the Giants won last week. What more do they want? They beat the Commanders.
They got their win.
Yeah. They got their win. Yeah, exactly. We got Jags Steelers. That could be, I mean,
the Broderick Jones situation continues. Why?
Did he not start last week?
No, he didn't.
Is that what the update was?
He did the week before.
Yeah, against the Texans, right?
Yeah.
And then last week he didn't play.
Yeah.
Megan.
We'll let you go against Will Anderson, but that's it. That's it.
Let's see. We'll watch that one for Broderick Watch, because I think the Jags are going to win that one.
Just play it.
Rams Cowboys. That's a PB&J special.
Yes, it is.
Cowboys D-line versus Rams O-line. Could be a fun fight. Could also be a nightmare for Alaric Jackson. Who knows? That's a very week-to-week thing for the Rams.
We'll see.
I tell you what, man, the Rams keep winning. More power to them, man. Just keep chugging along. I feel like they're the scrappiest team in the NFL right now.
The Rams feel like that team that like go into the season with a plan, like the front office, like, this year we're going to go all in. This year we're going to tank it. And they just do the same thing. They're doing the same output every year. It doesn't really matter. They're like, this is who we're going to be. And you guys can do whatever you want to do. But Sean McVay is going to take this team in one direction and one direction only.
It's like It's like we were all like, what are they gonna do? They're tearing it all down. And they're like, we're just gonna win. We're just gonna win football games. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're paid to do. So we're just gonna win football games. And you know what? I respect it.
More power to them. I love it. I love it.
Game
like
recognized game,
I always
man.
say, front offices tank. The team don't tank.
Right, exactly. They don't care. They got Matt Stafford just slinging the pill, man.
Planting seeds up and down the field.
We do have another interesting NFC matchup with Seahawks and the Browns. I mean, that wasn't really an NFC. It was just I was trying to link it because it's the NFC West.
I was like, oh, who's gonna?
It's the NFC West.
Charles Cross is back. Is Abe Luke? What's?
He's on IR. I think he's eligible to return. He may be in his 20.
He's like back.
He may be in his 21 day right now, and then I think I saw somewhere that they're trying to activate him next week. I think they really just want him before they play the Niners, whenever that is.
But Charles Cross, Myles Garrett. That'll be fun for me.
It will, yes.
Is Olu still playing, or are they?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I just hope for Shadow Team's sake that Derek Hall gets more than 12 snaps.
They don't want to play Derek Hall.
It's because I did a whole film room and they're like, this guy definitely has no idea what he's talking about. So we're definitely going to sit. Right. He's just playing his special team snaps this week.
It's so funny. We did the whole film review and then he had like a decent game. And then it's like, oh, no, that's enough of him.
Yeah, exactly. Did a whole film room about how he should play more. And they're like, no, less,
absolutely
definitely
not,
less.
Sir. They took that personally, Jared.
They did. Then we have the Niners Bengals. That's going to be a brawl. That's just going to be who wants it more, because the Niners are coming off of 2 losses. Bengals struggled early in the season, coming off a bye. That's just going to be I think it's the Nance game, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Nance and Romo game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the 4:00 window game.
No, it's crazy because this is a game like the Bengals need a signature win this year. They have not gotten that win that's like, yeah, like we're back. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, the Niners just need a win at this point, and it happens to be Bengals week for them. So it's like, but we got the Super Bowl rematch as like the only storyline of that game. So
yep. And then I thought I just put this in the rundown because it's the weirdest Sunday night football game I can think of in a very long time. Like there were divisional matchups and stuff, right? But they went with Bears Chargers. With Bears Chargers, and we watched 2 teams struggle very hard for 4 hours.
Let's watch 2 teams actively try to lose for 4 quarters.
Right. Thanks, guys. Put it in prime time with Collinsworth just droning on. Now here's a guy
who doesn't want to win this football game. Can we talk about how, I don't know if it's just me and if it's just this season or if it happened before and I'm just noticing it, but he starts every broadcast with a jacket and by halftime has lost the jacket.
He gets worked up in there, man.
Football
gets him hot. He's got to take it all out.
Like, what was it during like the first preseason game? I'm like, he's going to be in a t-shirt by the end of this broadcast.
Slowly undressing himself. Stop panning to me.
Like the first time I was like, oh, we're in the summer. It's hot. Like I get it. But then like, yeah, like we're getting to some of these, like we're end of October now. Like you got to keep the jacket on for a full broadcast, Chris. Like, what are we doing?
No more green screen shots. I've got my pants off.
You're getting very comfortable in the booth. You've obviously been doing this for way too long. It's like airing the boys out there on national TV. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, let's move to college football because it's a little bit more exciting.
Let's do it.
We got some rivalry games. We got some big top 10 matchup with Oregon, Utah. Pac-12 at it again. Both 1-loss teams. This is, I guess, for a spot at this point in the championship game.
They're going to play each other again, though. It's like where this is going, right? Where it's like, because Oregon can't make it now.
Yeah, I think Washington has the 1 spot right now because they're undefeated.
So Utah's got to win this to try and play Washington. Like, this is just Oregon trying to keep Utah out of it.
This is everybody else trying to keep pace because I think Oregon, Oregon State, and Utah all have one loss at the moment in the Pac-12. So
I forgot Utah. Yeah.
so so big game for Oregon and Utah. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Talk about trenches right there. That is a trench matchup in the Pac-12. Those are probably two of the most well-coached trench units, both offense and defense for both schools. Like the Oregon defensive line, the Utah defensive line, Oregon offense. I feel like I'm talking in circles here because
no, it's going to be physical, bro. Like these teams are going to come out, and no matter who's on which side of the, like, it's not like we've all seen it. There's those games where it's like, okay, you want to watch the game when it's this offense versus this defense, not the other way around. But this is a game where it's like, no, watch the trenches no matter who's where, because they're both going to be punching each other in the face the whole game.
Yeah, the SEC should have signed both of these teams for their conference because that's the kind of game it is. It's like an old school SEC game. Mm-hmm. Speaking of SEC, gosh, we're killing the transitions today. We've like missed 2 weeks of transition, so our brains are like, we got this. But speaking of SEC, we got the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Florida, Georgia played today, this weekend.
Right now.
I don't think we're allowed to call it a cocktail party, but I'm 21. You're 21. We're calling it a fucking cocktail party, right? Let's get our drinks out. Let's watch some fucking football. It's going to be a blowout from Georgia. So
watch this be the game Georgia loses.
For real.
In true SEC fashion, Georgia falls to Florida.
Cameron Jackson just standing in the middle of Florida's defensive line like this, and they can't do anything on offense. That's for 4 whole quarters. I'm only saying that because I watched Cameron Jackson not too long ago.
The only way Florida wins this game is if they win at 7-3.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Then we have a top 20 ACC matchup that I know everybody's excited for because this is kind of similar to the Pac-12. Everybody's chasing Florida State right now. Duke, Louisville, and I think UNC are all one-loss teams in the ACC because UNC lost to Virginia. One of the worst teams in college football. I don't know. So Duke, Louisville, that'll give the winner the edge for second place in the ACC championship game. So that's a big game. I think it's a night game. I believe it's in Louisville for the blackout. So it's going to be electric. Then staying in the state of Kentucky, UK and Tennessee, huge rivalry game that nobody ever remembers as a rivalry game until it happens. But UK Tennessee plays this weekend. I believe it's in Rocky Top. Good luck, Cats.
I just want them to make this game the checkered game. I want them both to come out in their checkered uniforms for this game. That's all I want.
That would be pretty dope, actually. I forgot UK had the old checker, the old ugly ass checkered uniform.
Hey, your bird has teeth.
And you know what? The Cats really could upset Tennessee. Tennessee did
We're
not
not ranked anymore. They are, all right? It's an upset.
Tennessee did not look good against, especially in the second half against Alabama last week. And they didn't cover, so they're on my shit list.
Because you know what good teams do? They
cover.
You know what great teams do? Great teams cover the freaking spread, baby.
And Tennessee is neither.
That's not untrue.
Ohio State, Wisconsin. I feel like it's a trap game for Ohio State. Just coming off the big stupid Penn State win. I love Luke Fickell. I'm pretty sure it is in Wisconsin. Is it Camp Randall? Is that Wisconsin? Am I crazy? I want to say it's Camp Randall Stadium. Where they do the jump around. It is Camp Randall. Oh my gosh, what a brain fart. Yes. It's going to be in Camp Randall Stadium, so I hope the Badgers get a little feisty with the Buckeyes, ruin their college football playoff hopes because they're not beating the stealing Wolverines, baby.
Yeah, because they steal signs, Jared.
Signs, like stop signs and do not cross seer signs.
Yield signs.
That would be even funnier if we found out Connor Stallion was actually stealing like physical street signs too. like on top of it, because that actually is super illegal. You can't.
I want him to like have the sign, like he was going to the games, but he was just taking like the Buckeye Drive signs like down from every team that they played.
That would be good. And then Pac-12 After Dark game is actually a really good one. Oregon State and Arizona. Arizona is a super feisty team. They're the Georgia Tech of Pac-12 football.
Yes, they are. That's so accurate. I hated that.
Georgia Tech lost to Boston College. It makes no sense. I love college football so much. But yeah, for a Parker's nightcap, the Beavs and the Wildcats going at
my
it.
post-dinner game, because that's the best time zone to be in for football.
Post-dinner game. Oh God, what a game!
The 8 o'clock game is my favorite.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna start calling it the post-dinner game now.
That's what it is, because I eat dinner like 6, 7, and then we wrap it up. Like, oh, start the game on. It's game time.
Hell yeah! We don't have those around here.
I know. You have like the dinner game.
Yeah, it's on.
It's to go out to dinner for date night, come home, and turn on the Pac-12 game. That's my favorite routine.
All right, Parker. So, last thing on the docket. First of all, everybody say hi, Taco. Hi, Taco. Yeet. Last thing on the docket is a mailbag. We've never done a mailbag. This is our first mailbag, Parker. Are you excited?
I am honestly I intentionally did not. I retweeted the post and I quote tweeted it and I ignored my notifications. So I'm coming in blind and I'm excited for it.
Oh, perfect. I have, of course, screened the questions because I had to add them to the rundown. And because me and you are huge Cincinnati Bengals fans, most of our followers are Cincinnati Bengals fans. All of our questions are Cincinnati Bengals related. So if you do not care one bit about the Cincinnati Bengals, go fuck yourself, because this segment's not for you. This is for our diehards out there that send in questions. We really appreciate you guys. And we love the Bengals.
We are willing to field other questions just to throw
absolutely that yes for future mailbags. Do not go fuck yourselves. We want other questions as well for the next one, but
the next X amount of minutes, I suppose.
Yeah, for the next I hope you didn't turn it off after I said go fuck yourself. I'm gonna see the analytics for this. It's be like 1 hour 2 minutes. Just absolutely take a nosedive. All right, so let's get to our first.
That's the clip right there. That's the clip you post right there. You don't like the Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't even remember how I said it, so I hope that's how it is, so I can just clip that and use it. Just like I've been using the "I'm not very educated" like as my favorite.
I want to make that my ringtone.
Just make it my notification, yeah. Like whenever I text you, like
I'm not very educated.
I'm not very educated. All right,
yeah,
so our
first questions, Jared.
Our first mailbag question sent to you. This is specifically Parker. Don't answer Jared. It says it right here. UK Cincinnati fan at Bengal90 on X/Twitter/Twix. I saw somebody call it Twix the other day. I hated it, so I'm going to keep saying it. What under center runs for the Bengals are you hoping to see after the bye?
Any of them?
Any. Just put Joe Burrow under Ted Karras's butt and run a run play.
I would love to see. I mean, first off, quarterback sneak needs to make a comeback for the Bengals offense. Joe Burrow was elite at the quarterback sneak, and they refused to go for it on late downs. So I would like to see that make a return. But to actually answer your question, I'm excited to see GH counter out of under center looks. I'm personally a big fan of that. I've tried to incorporate it a lot with the team I coach. But I love GH counter when you get the counter action with the back going the complete opposite direction, because linebackers love peeking in the backfield and following the flow of the play, and then you just bring it right back around and just rewind it. So that's what I'm looking forward to. They ran GH a lot in the preseason. They've actually started going to it a lot more now in the regular season than they did earlier in the year. So I'm just hoping that that's part of the package.
I'm just asking because I don't pay that much attention. Do they usually run it out of a wing, or like whenever they do the H as like a split back kind of thing? Because I
No,
know
they usually use the wing, or it's like, they bring somebody in motion, or it's like they don't do it out of like the eye like the OGs do, but
okay.
like
One thing I would like to see is them using guys like Chris Evans and Chase Brown. I saw Chase Brown pop up with a hamstring or something earlier today, but I'd like to see those kind of guys lined up in wings or slots and stuff, and using those guys in motions to get the ball outside a little bit more, because a lot of their base runs that they've been using it's mostly tight zone and duo. Like, I would like to see them use the edges a little bit more in the run game, and they don't really have the offensive linemen to run wide zone or get anything stretched outside. So I think some quick tosses, getting tight ends out in slot positions to kind of block on in space. Like, Drew Sample's really good at that. And I'd like Tanner Hudson, give those guys opportunities to block in space. I think those would be pretty exciting for the Bengals to kind of iterate with their more downhill runs.
Yeah, no, and it's been frustrating because like the only outside run they really use with a running back is shotgun wide zone, which sucks. But they use like all these swing passes and screens, quote unquote, to like trying to generate that outside run game.
Yeah.
They'll use like Jamar Chase out of the backfield or in motion, and like they'll do all this. But like, yeah, just like use a running back, put him in motion, and get him right outside. Like, let a running back do it. Like, go kick return left and just let it go.
And they could use the biggest thing about under center is you have so much more misdirection. Like you were saying, GH counter, like it's all it is. Like that is the whole purpose of going under center at this point in the NFL. Like you're letting runs develop longer. You're letting your linemen get out into space longer. Like you're doing all the things to set things up. So like you're trying to get the defense to react one way so that you can make the run or whatever more effective. So like you want to keep, I don't know how I'm trying to, you just want to keep your cards close to your vest, and going under center allows you to do that.
Well, until all the Bengals fans that are excited that this means more run game, they're going under center because they know you can hide the ball better in under center for play action.
Yes.
The going under center does not equal more running plays. It honestly probably equals more play action shot plays. So
yes,
if
they want to
against the 49ers, I'm expecting them to try to freeze these linebackers and take some shots. That's what they're trying to do here.
And that's another thing, like with the jet motions and stuff like that. Like you can get your playmakers already running with that kind of stuff, as well as like the defense flowing a different way. So it's just another trick to add to another club to add to their golf bag.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think on top of that, to answer Braden Griffin's question, at Braden A. Griffin on the Twitter, in terms of run scheme, what are some things we could do to spring some explosives? Just like we were saying, run more misdirection, get under center, get these guys in motion, get these guys flowing one way, get them cutting back the other way, all of that stuff. That's how you generate. If you can get a defense on their heels, that's how you get explosive runs. If you can drop bombs over the top of defenses and then like hit them right in the gut for 10, 15 yards, like that's what you're looking for on offense.
Well, what I've seen just on film review, they have to find a way to empty out the box, and then when they have a lighter box, the running back has to trust the lane, because there's so many times where I'm watching film and Mixon hits the lane, the O lineman is set up on the linebacker like a half second away from opening the lane up, making the block and clearing it, and then Mixon cuts to like kind of the more open lane to the side. And then the lane opens up where it originally was. I'm like, if you just trust it, just hit it. Just trust it. Like, it's going to be there. I know you've seen the film at this point. Like, just trust it. Hit the lane. And I think that you're going to get explosive plays out of there, because the Bengals have done a great job this year. I complained about it all season last year. They've done a great job in the run game of clearing out linebackers. So just hit the lane, hit it inside, and hit it hard. Like that's how you generate explosive run plays in this offense right now.
Yeah, and I feel like Mixon's eyes are a lot better this year. It's just he's missing the extra gear he used to have. Yeah. Like when he used to get to the second level and put his foot down, like he doesn't have that gear anymore. And that's another thing. Like they need one of these speedier backs to really hit on a play or two to kind of scare the defense. All right. Now let's get into our next question. How do you this one's from Taryn at Taryn ST86. How do you feel about Cody Ford being the first guy off the bench for Orlando, and what did you see from his performance?
Don't feel great. I think he performed way better than I expected him to. That's I don't think it's great when I was very high on Deontay Smith. We all know where I stand on Jackson Carman in the Bengals community. So I would have liked to see Deontay Smith out there. I think he looked really good in the preseason. I think he's a great overall just player and I guess still prospect, I guess, technically, because he's not a starter, so it's still a prospective starter. But I think he looked really good. I think he's technically sound, and I wasn't excited about the reps Cody Ford got at guard. I thought he was great as an interior backup, that interior O line 4 type guy. I think that was great. Maybe a swing guard tackle if they get into the typical situation of being down 60% of their offensive line at the end of the year. You can kind of throw him in there, but I would have liked to see Deontay Smith be the first guy off the bench. However, I think he looked fine. I think he held his own. I don't think he did too bad. I think he looked solid there as a replacement tackle, but I'm excited to have 75 back.
Yeah. I just want to be a fly on the wall whenever these discussions happen because it's kind of mind-blowing because you had Lael Collins. Maybe his rehab or whatever from his ACL wasn't going very well. I mean, he still hasn't been picked up by anybody. But you have Deontay Smith and Jackson Carman, who you signed to your roster.
There are 2 tackles on the 53-man roster that have been on this team for at least 2 years.
They played tackle during the preseason. Did Cody Ford take any tackle rep? I think he maybe played 1 or 2 series.
Maybe double digits, maybe.
So it was just so confusing to see him out there for me. I was like, why is he the first person off the bench? And it wasn't clarified and nobody really asked more about it. So it's like one of those things I want to know what the thought process was with putting him out there because I'm pretty sure Jackson Carman, who played left tackle in their playoff games last year, was
the first left tackle off the bench, really.
Yeah. So very, very interesting stuff. I don't know what's going on. I genuinely wish they had a clear answer at swing tackle right now.
Well, that's where it's like, I always get bothered because I'm like, I know there's like, I'm not a beat reporter, but if I were, the first question I would have asked after that football game would have been, hey, why did Cody Ford go out there when you have, because technically at this point now you're saying you have 3 tackles on your active roster that aren't starting. Like you have 5 tackles on his active roster right now. That's a lot.
That's a lot. And a very sketchy situation at backup center.
Yeah, you got interesting options there at the interior, and that's what it's like. Again, like you said, like Cody Ford got he got a lot of preseason run. Like it's not that he just wasn't.
Yeah, he played a lot of guard. He played so much guard.
Interior O line, both guards. Like he played a lot of interior and a very limited amount of tackle, and then is the first tackle. And again, like it's not like, oh well, maybe he's just O line 6. That's great. That's not how that works. Like it's not. Oh, just throw your best guy and like no, you throw a tackle into the game and tackle, please.
Yeah,
anyway, that's my thoughts. ESTN, thank you.
All right, so kind of a similar subject. Joe at Muskie's fan, do you think the Bengals should be looking for a better interior offensive line depth at the trade deadline?
Allegedly, I don't. What are you gonna go get, and how much is it gonna cost you? Like, I think if you want interior lined up, and that's why I hammered the table for it at the beginning of the season, you get it out of free agency, you get it out of the draft. Like, you're not at this point in the season, you're not trading for that depth. You're not trying to go out there and say, hey, we're really just that one guy. That like the trade deadline is like we're 2 guys away from like doing something. Yeah. Like at this point, the Bengals aren't going to go get any guy that they're willing to pay the amount of money that he's going to take or sacrifice the draft capital to get. That's going to improve their team enough to make it worth it. Like they're not getting an O lineman or most likely a D lineman in the trade window. Like that's just
I don't think the Bengals are picking anybody up because they love to hold on to their draft assets. They don't want to give anything up for their players. It's one of those things. Whenever every time this time of year pops around, I'm just like, well, I don't expect anything really from the Bengals. So
they've done a lot of like new stuff. Like they're not the old Bengals in a lot of ways. This is a way they love burning draft picks on their own and not giving them to other people. So I think they're going to maintain that mantra. I don't think that's going to change.
Nope. So we'll just tell you what interior offensive lineman we think fit the Bengals come draft time. How about that? Does that work for you? No trade deadline ones, just draft ones.
I love interior lineman. I'll definitely be spewing names out here.
All right. So last question we got from Goose at Goosey513. With it being officially fall, what's y'all's go-to for comfort foods? We're going to start there. They have another question. I'll read the second part after you give me your fall go-to comfort food.
That's okay. So it's a Cincinnati related question, so I will specify. I enjoy a nice bowl of chili, but like actual chili.
That's what I was going to say. Like a big hearty with the beans. Yes.
Yeah. Like a nice,
yes.
I mean, like
that's the perfect fall food. Absolutely.
That is the correct answer.
That was my answer. And also this time of year, my wife hates it, but I always push for stuffing as a side with every meal, because it's like the only time of year that I really like want to eat stuffing. So I eat stuffing this time of year all the time.
I do want to say honorable mention, and I've only recently gotten into stuffing, but I found a creation that's probably not new to anybody else. However, my favorite fall comfort food is Thanksgiving leftover sandwiches featuring turkey stuffing and taters and a fresh baked roll. That is the best comfort food in the fall. However, it's not practical to make that very often in the fall. No. So you have it for like a couple weeks. That's the window.
My stepmom makes stuffings. They're stuffing muffins. She cooks stuffing like in a muffin pan so that you can just grab them and go. I will absolutely crush a whole thing of stuffing.
I will definitely be making that this year.
it's so good. It's homemade stuffing. Like they make their own, like they break the bread and everything. But I love that they put it in muffin tins. All right, Goosey was also asking, do you see the Bengals giving Jonah a decent contract after? I totally fumbled this. Hold on, because it's written. Great job. It's written weird. Do you see them giving a decent contract to Jonah after playing good at right tackle this year?
I see them giving him a decent contract. However, he's going to sign a better contract with someone else.
I agree with that. I think somebody else is going to pay him. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Do you think Mike McGlinchey's sucking so hard this year, kind of tempering the right tackle package?
Every right tackle in the league hates him right now.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Every single one. Mm-hmm.
Every single
one. Taylor's probably, I don't know. He's causing a lot of controversy, but he's playing all right.
I mean, he got signed as a left tackle and was like, no, I'm going to stay on the right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the money. I'm still going to play that one. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So like maybe Jonah gets the
average pay scale for right tackles right now is a disaster.
Yeah.
It is a disaster.
Yeah. Good question. We don't know. We don't have an answer for that one.
But I think they'll be willing to extend him.
Yeah.
However, and like I think the big question with Jonah Williams is injury history, right? Like he's a guy that is like, this might be, knock on wood, his only healthy season in his career. And so it's like,
isn't he healthy most of 21?
Most of it. But he went down late just like he did last season.
Okay.
I think, unless I could be totally off base there. I mean, please yell at me. I don't know anything. But anyway, either way, but again, 2 years down out of 5, like it's still not a 40%.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be like it's going to be brought up whenever he negotiates a contract.
Yeah, so that's where
man, he missed a ton of time.
It'll tank his value. I think the Bengals again will be willing to pay him, but he's now shown that he can start on both sides of the ball. Left and right. That I will clarify. Left and right side of the football, not Anyway, that he plays for the Rams. But yeah, his value is up, but then down for injuries. So I think the swing tackle thing definitely helped his value, but I think it helps his value enough where he will not be in stripes moving forward.
I think if the Bengals offered him what he's making this year, he should take it. And that's all there is to it. Like, I think that's pretty fair for everybody.
Yeah.
So that was our mailbag. Thank you all for sending in the questions. We really appreciate it. And I think that's all we've got for this week, dog. Do you got any parting thoughts?
I'm gonna get back in the draft room because I was telling Jared pre-show, I'm way too invested in my shadow team, and I'm not afraid to tell literally everyone I see about it. It's the stupidest thing ever, and probably the nerdiest thing I've ever been involved in my life. But I am obsessed with my shadow team, and I need to get more prospects on my board because, here we are almost the end of October, and I have no idea who's going to be available in the third round of the draft. So, I mean,
it's crazy, man.
Am I even a draft fan at this point? Like,
no, you don't know what you're doing. You have no idea.
I don't even know who's going to be available for my fourth pick. Like, I don't even. Man, I'm failure. I'm sorry to everybody. But yeah, no, I'm excited to get into more college film. I love watching college football. It's been great that film's been starting to roll out as far as all 22 stuff. We can start evaluating some of these trench guys. But yeah, I'm going to grind some centers. I was talking to Jared about that again, before we got on here, about how I'm going to get through a bunch of center tape, really fill out. I want to get, 10 tackles, 10 guards, 10 centers, and I'm just going to go haywire and watch whoever the hell I want to watch. But I want to get 10 of each position. Post my board because I love getting yelled at on social media, and then just go zero dark silent forever until April. So
yeah. I know. I'm excited. We've been sharing filmed with each other because the 23 stuff's all coming out. It's very exciting. Right now, I've been updating a lot of my threads. I'm excited. I was just adding a bunch of names to my watch list from the Senior Bowl watch list. So I'm starting to match names with the film that I've got, and I'm going to start going through some new guys, some old guys, still updating. The thing that bugs me because you know how organized like all of my stuff is.
It looks great.
I'm getting so frustrated because like I really want to dive into all this film, but I only have like 1 or 2 games, and I like doing full threads, like full breakdowns, but it's kind of put me in the spot where I really just want to get like the one game of the one player so I can overreact to it on Twitter.
So, well, that's my problem. Like I have my full like O-line like watch list, and I've been like I have my new system, so I've been like rolling it out, and it's like all my players like 1 game, 1 game, 1 game, 2 games, 1 game, 1 game. I'm
right.
Like, man, I feel like I haven't evaluated anyone yet. I just have like I have like hot takes about every player I've watched. Like that's
or like me and you've been watching so much college football on Saturdays, you like get excited about players making plays and stuff, and then you don't have the film yet, and you're just like sitting there staring at their name like I just want like Talise Fuaga right now for me is like, will you please just somebody with Oregon State film for the love of God? My DMs are so open right now. Please just send it.
Well, that's the worst. Like I'll sit down like a Sunday, like, oh, I'm gonna watch some college film today, and I'm like, I have nope, I don't got it. I have 0 games from yesterday. Absolutely none. No 0.
My next film room is gonna be an NFL player, so I think everybody should get excited for that one. I've teased you with it. You know what it is already.
I'm not gonna lie, I've forgotten, so I'm excited.
Oh, it's gonna be a surprise. but
I just tried to remember. It's gone. So I'm excited for the surprise.
Nice. Not telling you.
Can't wait to listen to the episode. No, I can't listen to it.
You have to watch it on YouTube. Yeah. Subscribe. Man. All right, let's get out of here. I got chicken nuggets with my name on it.
Well, I got mud. Not Monday. Thursday night football to watch. God.
I got mud.
I got mud.
All right, cool.
Yep. This is the end.
Yeah, I need food. I need a beer. Thanks, probably. Yeah, thank you all for watching, listening, all of that fun stuff. We'll be back with you next week.
Signing off.
Bye.